Hello, welcome to the McEwan Brother podcast. This week, me and Jamie are giving you a life update, and then we're going to dive into Jamie's business proposal that he's got for us to dissect. Jamie, how are you doing? How's your week going?
It's going pretty well. Obviously, with my new job at Safety Clean as the parts cleaning expert, cracking title. But yeah, basically, I'm the sales rep for them, just trying to get the first sale across the board. It's one of these ones where it's a bit of a long process. Been doing a lot of traveling. Probably on average over 100 miles a day. So quite a lot of traveling, but no, it's good. I'm enjoying it. And looking forward to the potential it has in the future. And where I grow with the company. So, what about yourself, Gregor?
Cool, sounds good. Busy week for me at work. Been many projects going on, basically. Had an interview with quite a big client, and then I was kind of leading that. And then it's the most people have had on a call for an interview for basically a product demo, basically. So I was like, how are all these people? How are they all joining? But they all had the cameras on, which was super nice. And obviously, me working at home, just sitting out screen was actually quite nice. And they were based in the UK, so we had a bit of chat about the weather as you do. So yeah, busy, other projects going on. So yeah, it's been all right. And then joining the gym as well. So yeah, busy trying to work out in the evenings, which is actually quite nice. And we actually started to do at the gym, sorry, just going on to it, is like a lot of stretching to start off with.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
that actually makes you feel so much better. Just if you do a bit of stretching and stretching after your workout, it takes a bit of time, but you kind of get used to it. It's good.
That's quite funny, Greg. I've started the gym as well, and I did my first probably decent session. My first session was an easy one because I don't know about your gym, but I've gone for one that's got a pool and a sort of sauna side of things as well. I actually started off with a 10-minute run and then straight down to the pool and then a sauna. So
Yeah, so
bit of a
you're
relaxed one.
you're living the high life in a nice fancy gym. I've got basically just a room full of gym equipment, which I wish I had a pool and stuff, but
Yeah,
is what it
but
is. So
and
sounds
then
good.
I have to say I did go back. I went back a couple of days after and did a half-hour run and then stretching and sort of some core exercises. So I have done a workout. I have done something
Nice,
decent.
nice. Sounds good. I remember saying to Callum about this, feel like, oh, I've joined the gym, and then he's like, why? I'm like, well, to get fit. Like, why else would you join? It's almost like he was looking for like another reason or something. But yeah, I think he's obviously trying to get fit and
Yeah,
everything. So it's good. So we're all, joining a gym, staying active. So
yeah,
just jealous of
definitely
your gym. So
agree. Yep, you'd be jealous of the price I pay as well.
I
Family and
know,
friends benefits.
I know, just
Anyway,
ridiculous. All about a deal.
all about you.
Right, Jimmy, dive into your proposal you've got for us that you seem very excited to share.
Yeah, so obviously from last week, if you've not listened to the last week's episode, go back to that right now and pop back at this time. Last week's episode was a great episode to have our guest and family and friend Scott Morton, who basically showed us how simple and of a strategy to make an online business and make a bit of extra income or create a business that you can do instead of actually working for a company, be self-employed. I really liked the business model he had. He did research that was clear and concise to show exactly how the model worked and the evidence he had to actually go forward with it. He also had the simple thing of, choosing a product that was small enough and easy enough to store and then post and cheap enough for him to do that. And then he spent some time finding a good supplier to make sure that the product was good quality. So when it did go out, he didn't have issues with customers coming back to him all the time with sort of issues. So as a result of all this, obviously, I'm sure yourself, Gregor, that you had this week had like thoughts of like, oh, that was quite good, and your brain kind of goes off from it. When you listen to someone doing that, you're like, your brain just explodes a little bit of ideas of what can you do now, or where can we go? And we've talked about our pizza business before and how we're trying to get along with that. That's been at a standstill for quite some time now. And I just thought it's time for us to do something with this. Dad gave us $3,000 at the start of April for all our business proposal and to really basically make some money and make an extra business between the three of us. So my idea is basically very similar to Scott. His website is called Discount Eye Straps. I thought, well, if his eye straps work, people must be searching for other Apple products or cases of some sort that you use for your phone. And I was thinking, what can we do? So I looked up cases. So I was seeing how much people search for iPhone cases. It is around about 100,000 people a month within the UK search for some sort of case of some sort for their phone. Okay, 79%, or it was actually I think it was 76% of people have a case on their phone. So everyone who purchases a phone, 76% out of the 100, so 76 people out of that 100 people are going to buy a case. Okay, albeit from when they buy the phone or go online on Amazon, or go through a website and try to find a case for themselves. I then thought, okay, let's see what Apple currently get up to. Looked at their cases and thought, who is paying that price for a case? 45, 50 quid for a case. And it's really realistically just a piece of rubber. It doesn't look like it has any actual major benefits to completely protecting the phone. I think Apple obviously designed their phones to try and last in terms of like durability and the screen quality and things like that. But I was like, that rubber case is not going to do much. So I thought, okay, let's look at Alibaba, like Scott did. So I've done the research to find out it's what it is, the product. Looked on Alibaba, there is similar ones that are similar to what the app already has. And then I thought it's simple, it's small, thin, it's easy to store, and it's easy to post as well. It can just go in a wee envelope, taped up, send off. Okay. So my proposal would be, let's maybe not scrap the pizza business. Let's put it on the back burner, keep it there for maybe coming, January, February time next year, and get it proper ready. So when it comes to summer, people are ready for that, and we can get it going. But my idea is discount I cases. Okay, that's the web domain that I have found. I thought that one's very straight to the point. It's clear, it's for iPhone. People would just recognize it, I think. And my idea would be, let's buy one of each, sort of different colours, and buy a couple of leather ones as well. Do what Scott did, buy a basic stock level, create a website, do Google Analytics. I would actually also do some Facebook and maybe some social media. Try and maybe get like a TikTok video just to show the product off or something along those lines. I'd probably start off with Google Analytics like Scott does. It's proven that he doesn't need social media. We don't need to spend tons of money at the start. Let's just focus on the Google Analytics first and do website stuff first, and then we can, if it works and we start selling, let's branch out to the other sectors. And that's my idea. So my idea is, let's turn that $3,000 that we've got. Obviously, it's a little bit more, as Gregor will let you know, our investments. Gregor, do you want to actually just butt in here? Let's just, so our we do have the money. Well, let's just tell them. Obviously, we've got the $3,000. Where's the $3,000 at the moment?
So we have invested in some ETFs in the stock market. There's 2 grand currently, just under 2 grand invested. We've done the S&P 500, and we're up 7% on that, which makes it up to £68 positive on that. And we're in the FTSE All World Vanguard fund as well, which is up £36 at the moment. So yeah, there's a
And then
couple of
we've got,
investments there.
and then my £1,000, or the other £1,000 is just in the bank. So we're currently up £100 on the investments, which is good. I'm glad. Obviously, Callum Gare did that. My decision within that wasn't to put it into any investment. I thought, hold it the now, keep everything a good balance, but it's good. So yeah, my idea really is really piggyback off Scott. Scott's got an idea that worked. Why would you try and do anything majorly different? He's clearly got a concept that's worked. You don't see someone make an electric car and then think, oh, I'm going to do electric, I don't know, some stupid, like, you're not going to see someone do majorly different. It's just same product, but different design, different thing.
Okay.
And my whole concept would be kind of piggyback off it. And I think it'd be a good way to get us started. I think Callum could also help us maybe with like the idea of like, contacting Alibaba. We put that to Callum. Callum, go and like research and get samples of Alibaba stuff, and
Yeah.
you tell us what one you think's best. Well, me and you set up the website, or even Callum helps us set up the website, creating nice design and stuff. And then you've obviously used Google Analytics before,
Hmm.
from your previous role, and even maybe the current role that you're in. And I'm thinking that knowledge, and hopefully my marketing knowledge, and hopefully I can apply that within this. And I think it'd just be a good mix of what we can do. And the big thing with me, I think, if we do it now, and if we
Hmm.
decide to go ahead with this and just let's try this out, what we could do is we could actually set it up and have it ready, so it's at least by Christmas we have a website set up, because Scott clearly indicate to me that Christmas time was when he was really driving numbers. You know, you've got people buying cases for people who have just bought, they've bought a phone for their son, their daughter, and stuff. Don't want to spend £45. Target them. You're gonna have people who get a phone on Christmas and then go, "Oh, I need to get a new case," and want to spend their Christmas money, but don't want to spend £45 on a case, £15 to £20 on a case. I think there's opportunity there to really get that market.
Yeah.
Have a website set up, do it, and as you said, we could. I think we've done websites before. We know kind of how to go about it. Um, yeah, so that's my idea. I'm going to push it on to you, Gregor. Tell me what you think. Obviously, we've all had different thoughts on sort of what businesses we wanted to do. Cal went with the 3D printing. You're more the pizza sort of side of things. We all agreed on that one, and then it's not really came to fruition. So, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, that was again, well done on doing all the research for that. It's obviously you've dived into it and had a good think about it, so that's good. Being proactive on that front. I think as a model or as an idea, it's it would have legs. There's obviously a demand there for people wanting a case, and you can understand that. I have a case on my phone. Most phones I have a case. I want a case to protect it. Part of me questions um, the ability to break through in that market because it's very crowded with other manufacturers in that market, saying that they make the best case for particularly, iPhones, obviously
Yeah,
very popular phone, and obviously release new phones every year. So then you need to like make a new phone for that or to fit the different designs. So my questions are about, breaking through on that front would be very difficult. There's other aspects of the idea of, do you stock all the way back to like different models of the iPhone? Is it only iPhone that you're doing? Obviously, with your idea, it is because it's the I name, the I
yeah,
case, or whatever. You're piggybacking straight off the back of what Scott has done with the name as well, which you might want to ask Scott about as well if that's okay, because it's very similar. But other aspects as well is you've clearly obviously thought about it and you've came up like obviously there's going to be a demand here for our product. You've seen the research or the data online of like how many people are searching for it and everything, which is good. My question is, you haven't really looked at the competitors in the market. Like, how would you differentiate between other people in the market to make sure that you actually can break through and be different and actually capture an audience
yeah,
and capture viewers? I don't know how much these things cost. What is your margins on them? Because we obviously need to assign some margins to Google Analytics, and we will be paying people to click on our ads on Google. That's how Scott gets a lot of traffic.
yeah,
So what is our margins for that? And you need to factor into that to costs. A lot of work goes into that, and obviously Scott's done that. So we're actually just looking at a product in the market and seeing if there's a demand. That's fairly simple. It's doing the next part, which takes a bit of legwork, which would obviously be the next step. So my question is, Scott identified 3 areas that he thought he could do better than competition.
yeah,
You're just basically saying to me, people have cases on their phone, let's sell them, which is fair. But like, how do you see it actually working? And that's where your marketing comes in. So I think there's work to do there. The case front, you're right. It's simple, easy product to ship. We can store it easy and somewhere in the house. What gets me though is if you're not a reputable brand for a case, like you spend, I don't know, quite a lot on a phone, basically, like over £500 on a
yeah,
new phone. You want to put a good case on it, so people pay that for Apple cases. People pay that for other brands that basically emphasize how good their cases are at protecting phones. That's their like selling point. That
mm,
makes sense. But people will want a bumper case, like a cheap case, just because it's cheap, right? But on a brand new iPhone, doesn't really make sense. So yes, there's a contrast there.
yeah. So I think my couple of arguments is, so I've not competition definitely not looked at. One of the things I would say is, when it comes to domain names, I managed to actually find that domain, discounticases.com, not .co.uk.com. I was like, there was both, or to be honest, they were both there, and I was like, I'm surprised that's not gone. Okay, so I think that's quite a key thing to have. If you could get that. I also think um, when you go into like a shopping centre, and you've got these wee stalls, the guys that fix the phones, and they've got the cases as well. These guys must, like there's quite a few of them. Like every shopping centre has one of these either a shop or a store. They're not there for nothing. They must make money somehow. And there's going to be people, kids, they get like, I'm thinking from, a 12-year-old to probably an 18-year-old who goes in, doesn't have tons of money, wants to buy a new case for their phone, probably don't actually care about um, if it's really going to protect it, just want something nice that looks like a nice thing. And that's where I think the Apple ones come in. They're just like colourful. Do you know what I mean? I looked at the Alibaba ones and they're all like just run tons of different colours so people can either match it with what they're wearing, things like that. So my idea of it is same with like the watch strap is the phone case. There's plenty of people out there. There's enough people with Apple phones and buying phones that there's going to be a large percentage that are going to basically just buy a case that doesn't really matter if it really functions that well, as long as it protects it in some sort of way and it
Mm.
looks all right, they're going to buy it. And especially at 15 to 20 quid, it's not a lot of money to spend on a case. Unlike if you're buying a case for like me and you, I think me and you obviously want a case that's functional. Me and you're buying a case in the aspect of we want to know that it's going to protect it because we think about that aspect. I'm not going for that market. I'm going for the market of people who don't care as much. They're just looking for that piece of accessory to attach to their phone. And I still think there's a large market. It's like Scott's doing it in the sense of there's a lot of people out there that are just wanting tons of different straps. There'll be straps that are better. There'll be straps that are stronger, are more comfortable, things like that. But he's just going for a market because there's going to be people out there that will just buy, 5 or 6 of them. So then when they change their costume or change into a dress or something that's red and they want a red strap on, they can change a red strap.
I
That's
guess
the
what
business model it's going for.
Yeah, I get that. And then obviously you're talking about these people in a shopping mall, but you're saying that, we don't know, but kids going up to these places and that's your target market, but kids can't buy online and people who buy these sort of cheap
Yeah.
cases might not buy online. And obviously with the watch straps, you've got a couple of models, like you've got a larger size, you've got a smaller size, and then you just got loads of colors and materials for the bands. Whereas like a phone, you've got how many phones have Apple just released? Like 3 or 4 different shapes, different sizes. So then you're timesing that by, if you're doing variations of color, you're
Yeah.
timesing that by, your SKUs, so your stock keeping units, like timesing it by a matter of 4. And then how much does that add up to build up basically a stock list? So you have like one of each so you can actually put it on the website. Because I guess what you're going for here is like availability of range of colors, but
Yeah.
also availability. You want people to come onto your website and go, "Oh, they don't have my phone." Not everybody has the latest phone, so then
Yeah.
it's like you have to build out that. And how much does that actually cost to stock a website to launch for that? That's what you need to get to as an idea, because I think that's what you would want to do. You wouldn't just be stocking like the latest phone, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's that would be one of the challenges to overcome. My thought process would be like do just to be honest, start off with the latest phone. Just do iPhone 13 or whatever the one is that's out, and just
Mm-hmm.
concentrate on one
Well, like I
and
think,
market it towards that. So when people search iPhone 13, because everyone when you search for a case, you don't search Samsung cases. You search Samsung S9 case.
mm,
S10 case. So people, when they search, they're searching for the particular one. Because when
yeah,
I looked on the Google Trends, iPhone 13 was up, like they're on like this trend stuff. It was up 3,700%.
yeah.
So
I
all you have to do is focus on that.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of noise and news articles stuff about that because it's it's current news and there's a lot of buzz around Apple right now when they release a phone, and that's just that you'll see that probably trending every year at September when they release a new phone, and so you're maybe piggybacking onto the back of that, but that also means that to rank on Google for anything, it's going to be like everybody else is going for that same market,
Yeah,
whereas if you're going for the latest one, it's more crowded. But if you're going for like the older phones, you might have a better chance of being on the first page, which is what you want to be. It's just, and then if everybody else is going for the same market and maybe these other cases are a bit more expensive, they might have higher margins. so they can pay a bit more for the marketing, and then you end up you're fighting for space on Google. And how else do you break through? And you're talking about TikTok videos, and then yeah, it could work. Um, it's just about identifying that USP with like you can identify anybody can identify a market, but it's identifying that USP that makes you just a little bit different to capture
Yeah.
that little bit of obviously what is going to be what is a big market anyway. And
Okay.
I don't think you've got that.
Okay. So with regarding the money in the business then, so let's just bring the conversation back round to obviously the key point I was trying to make with this is something probably needs to be done
Yeah.
with the money. We're
What I
getting
would say is with this, I totally understand something needs to be done with the money, and we can like what you've done is really really good. Like
yeah,
I think it's really good, but it's by taking it to that next step. Like last week we had a call with Scott, and he outlined basically step by step of what he went through. Right.
yeah,
I think what you've done is just gone, oh yeah, this is really inspirational. I like it. Just try and take it a bit further. Like try and do a bit of like competitive research. Do a bit of like work the numbers out because it's about reducing the risk. Reducing the risk will is understanding those parts of it.
yeah. But like so like the big thing I've got uh with like one of the things Scott said to us in the chat is he bought like £1,200 worth of stock. Okay. Even with the price that he bought all the stock at, he was like, I could sell if like say the website crashed, it didn't work, and he spent all this money on this stock. He was just going to bulk sell it on eBay, okay, and maybe make a loss, and might lose three, four, maybe £500 on it, okay, or could have sold them individually through eBay and just had it at like £4 £4 a case, and would have made his money back, and that would have been that.
Yeah,
It would have been annoying. It would have been a nuisance because then you've just got all this stock and you've got to constantly be posting it, and you've got the fees and Amazon
yeah,
and all that kind of things to work out. But he worked out that no matter what with his stock, it's not going to kill me. And the point
yeah,
is, Dad gave us the money. That's not going to kill us.
yeah.
It's going
But
to try and
I'm totally with you on that. But if you came to me with like a bit more
yeah, yeah. No, no,
understanding, that's what I'm guessing at.
yeah,
Like I
no,
get
no.
it, I get
I
it.
would,
You
I
can
would agree. I would agree with that. I'm not trying to say let's just go for it. I'm like just obviously put the idea forward, and we still need obviously Callum needs to hopefully Callum listens to this episode
I
and
know.
thinks about it. But um, have you got any ideas, Gregor? Let's just obviously round this up and see what you said to me you've had a wee bit of thoughts. Have there anything that you've thought of recently?
You know what? I was watching. This is random. I wasn't really to be said out loud or on a podcast, but I was watching TikTok with a girlfriend, and we're talking about. I think it was like a video of like somebody's slippers or quirky slippers, and it's like maybe like a shark or something like that, and they obviously have lots of views. And I was
Yeah,
just like, why not? You could just literally create like a random shop on Wix or whatever, and go to Alibaba, and I'm sure you could find. So no research at all, but I'm sure you could find like quirky, random uh,
flippers.
slippers that
Yeah,
people like that you think would be like just that. Not there's just a bog standard ones you get in Marks and Spencers, but just totally quirky, and just create a shop for that.
yeah,
And
100%.
obviously, yeah, I don't know how you ship them or whatever, but yeah, like stuff like that. You just be like, say you had, even if you made like £100 profit a month on one shop, you're like, is that
Yeah,
worth it? Depending on how much revenue you do. But even if you had a couple of those,
yeah.
you could do something.
The other thing I was thinking of, so I don't know if you've heard in the news about this new tax or when thing coming in for like plastic bottles and cans and stuff.
Oh, what's this?
So there's a 20p. So as of like next year, Scotland are going to charge companies that are bringing or making plastic bottles and stuff 20p. So
Per
basically,
bottle.
yeah. So every single drink that we know that's made of plastic or stuff within the UK will go up by about 20%, 20 pence. Okay.
Oh,
But what the point is, they're trying to get people to then bring them back and recycle them because you get 20p back per bottle or 20p back per item.
okay.
So it's like people pay for it, but then if you return it, you get 20p back. And the idea is that it's going to force people to recycle. It's going to force people to be like, big organizations that bring in millions. It's going to cost them millions.
Mm.
So the idea is that it's going to force these companies to now go, okay, we need to figure out how we're going to try and recuperate some of that money. And I was like, well, you see people like in America, I think, I'm sure they do it. Like if you get the tin cans and stuff, and if you get hold of them, you get in a bag, you can take it to somewhere and they'll give you some cash for it.
Right.
I was like,
Frugal.
well, people put stuff in a blue box to recycle it. What happens if you did like an incentive to people being like, well, how about I'll collect your waste and I'll pay you?
Right. So you're basically becoming
So
a bin man.
yeah, but my point is that what you'd do is you'd pay people a smaller fee than it costs. You'd make the money off getting these cans. So say you said, okay, every bottle you give to me, I'll give you 5p back. So people who are buying these bottles in the house, be like, because they can't. There's going to be so many households that can't be bothered with that. The hassle of trying to actually get that money back for 20p. How many? Like, will you really care about that 20 pence?
Yeah, but would you really care for 15 pence to do it?
No, but on a large scale, 15 pence. How many bottles do you have in? Do you go through a week? How many bottles do you go through a week?
Not a lot, really.
Well, give me a number.
Like bottles of plastic bottles.
Bottles, cans.
Maybe probably less than five.
So you're telling me you don't have a can of beer or a bottle of beer or a Highland
Like,
Spring?
uh, I normally drink water, I have loads of tea, and maybe Oatly milk is probably the biggest one, the
Okay.
cartons.
Well, to give
But
you to
even
give you
even that, one a week.
okay
Like,
to give you an example, I've probably had five because I've bought two bottles of water. Didn't really need to buy two. I bought a bottle of Lucozade and I've had a couple of cans of juice this week. Okay, so there's five for me. We don't personally. Me and you don't probably drink a lot of fizzy stuff. There's people out there that drink a can a day. There's people out there that
yeah,
drink.
yeah, there's people that
You
drink a
know,
lot. I guess your issue is like the whole point of this tax is to deter people from buying stuff like that in the first place. It's going to be more expensive, so your actual market is going to be decreasing.
yeah, but people are still going to buy it in the millions. And my big
How are you
point
going to
is,
capture millions in Scotland or the UK, like scale wise, without people actually doing the effort themselves?
I struggle to understand what you mean
So
there because
what you're gonna do is go around people's houses and be like, I'll take your rubbish, I'll take these cans off you for 5 pence, I'll pay you 5p per can, and then you'll go to whatever government place it is and return them for 15 to get 15 pence back, right? But you need
yep,
to do that to get a million of those. You need to do it for the whole of the UK or the whole of a city, the whole of Scotland. And how are you going to go around every address in Scotland? And I would struggle to do that in a day around this block that I live in. People might not
yeah.
be
It was
in.
just one of these random ideas. So okay, it's maybe not the best idea.
It's-
It was just one of these ideas. I was like, oh, there's the thing is, there will be a company out there. There'll be someone out there that's going to make money off of it.
I don't. Well, there might be, but unless they've got an in with the government who's actually running the scheme or something like that, a different approach rather than not even you're basically just being a normal person. I don't think you'd make money off it. That's not the
I think,
point. That's not the point of it, right? It's not the point to make money off a scheme that is supposed to make everything better. Um, to reduce like rubbish. That's not the point of it. So I don't see why that would.
well, could you imagine having a bin service, but putting bins all over Edinburgh, okay? But every time you put a can in the bin, that's like it'll pick up like a sensor or something or a scanner picks it up. You put like a can in, like say 10p comes out, okay?
Yeah.
So every time you put a can in, you get 10p, okay?
So
I get
if
10. Every time you put 10p in, I'm getting 10p. And if you had imagine in Edinburgh, imagine if you put say you had, let's
Jamie,
say,
I honestly cannot believe
uh,
these words are coming out your mouth.
imagine if you had 100 bins in Edinburgh, okay,
Yes. Okay. I'm
a,
imagining
hun-
this.
100 bins in Edinburgh.
Right.
That every time you put something in it, you get
Mm-hmm.
10p back.
Right. So this 10p, right? So first of all, it needs to be a certain type of thing to put it in the bin, right?
Yeah, but
So
that's
people,
it would be pick it out, pick it up. So if the when you this bin would be designed to an aspect of that, you when you put the can in
honestly,
it, it picks it up, it scans it, and it's like tin, great, plastic, great.
yeah, yeah. And how are you
I
gonna,
yes.
how are you gonna make this bin?
I think you'll find we have a engineering brother that can make anything work.
So what you're gonna do is ask Callum to make a bin that identifies rubbish from other things, which there's massive companies out there that do it. And then you're going to try and get Cam to make this and ship it over to the UK, and I'm going to put them in Edinburgh, which we need
There's
to
money
get
in waste, Gregor.
cancel permission and stuff. And then with this bin, probably needs to be a certain size to store the volume that you need to make money. Honestly, I can't believe these words. Honestly, just
Gregor, it's genius because
I've had some
there's
stupid
money,
ideas in my past, but this one's up there.
there's money in waste. There's so much money in waste.
There's loads of money in waste. 100%. I don't think it's making 10 pence on a can is going to make you the money you need or what you're looking for.
Okay.
Cool.
But how cool would that be if you put something in a bin and it gave you 10p?
If it gave me 10p, I'd want it in my bank account right away. If I got a 10 pence coin, but this is pointless. And then I don't know how often I'm out that I'd find a bin that I'd want to. I wouldn't purposely go out my way to get 10 pence to put it in a certain bin.
No,
So
but if it was in the middle of this near street that you
I don't know how often I'm in a street where I'm having a can of something that I need to put it in a bin.
or what you do is you have like like Tesco and stuff for the charity clothes ones,
Yes.
and there's normally the recycling one there. You have a big one there with a digital screen, and what you do is you get a printout. You sign up with like Tesco or something, one of these companies that are like wanting to make the money back. So you propose this idea to Tesco and be like, Tesco, why don't you create a bin that every time someone puts these cans in, you get 10p? Because these guys already have the logistics set up with the lorries that turn up and leave everything.
I'm gonna leave this idea to for you to tackle.
Genius.
Yes.
Here,
I
Dad,
want
I'm waiting for you to. The only listener that's listening to this, Dad, tell me, is it a good idea or is it not?
we'll see that in the comments. We'll see that in the comments.
Okay, well, I think this has been a great episode because we've had very interesting conversation.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, well, thanks, Gregor, and we'll catch you, Gregors and listeners and Jamie's next week.
All right, we'll catch you next week.
Yes,
Bye.
bye.